Some weekends are just weekends, and some weekends quietly remind you of who you are becoming. This was one of those weekends. Hey, I'm Vanetta, and welcome back to Awaken Her Now, where I'm awakening the most radiant version of myself, and I'm inviting you to do the same. Now, this weekend, I spent some time with my sister. We took a little trip out of town to see the New Edition concert. And on the surface, it looked like a normal girls' weekend. Driving out of town, eating good food, laughing, dancing, and listening to music. But what was really happening was something deeper. Because awakening doesn't clock out just because you're on a weekend trip. When you're on a journey of becoming your best self, the lessons travel with you. Now, my sister is one of the people who has quietly shaped my awakening. Not because she preaches to me, not because she tells me what to do, but because she lives in a way that makes you reflect on your own life. She is very self-aware, and I'm not sure if it's intentional like it is for me, but she has done a lot of inner work. She used to be a little explosive, but I've seen her do a 180 in her life. She now very much understands emotions instead of being controlled by them. And one of the greatest gifts she gives to the people she loves, especially me, is space. Space to be human, space to feel, space to grow. You know, a lot of people say that they love you, but very few people actually know how to hold space for you. Holding space means you don't rush someone's process. You don't shame them for their emotions, and you don't abandon them when they're messy. But you also don't enable them to stay stuck. You love them while gently reminding them of who they are capable of becoming. And that's rare. Now, in all transparency, this weekend had a moment I didn't expect. In the middle of all of the fun, I had a meltdown. And if you've ever been on a healing journey, you know what I'm talking about. Because awakening isn't always graceful. Sometimes it's beautiful and sometimes it's ugly. Sometimes you feel powerful and clear, and sometimes you feel like you're unraveling. And in that moment, I was overwhelmed. Old emotions surfaced, old thoughts, old patterns, and I just broke down. Not because anything terrible had happened, but because healing sometimes pulls things to the surface that you didn't realize were still inside of you. And my sister, she didn't panic. She didn't judge me. She didn't dismiss what I was feeling. She simply reminded me of something that I needed to hear. And she said to me, "You have to accept where you are on your journey and be okay with it." And that landed deep in my spirit. Because sometimes when you're committed to growth, you get frustrated with yourself. You want to be further along than you are. You want to have mastered everything. You want to be the healed version of yourself already. But healing doesn't work like that. Awakening is layered. It's humbling. It asks you to face yourself again and again. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is simply accept the version of yourself that is still becoming. Not perfect, not finished, but still evolving, still learning, and still healing. That moment with my sister reminded me of something very powerful. And that is, the people you surround yourself with matter. Because the wrong people will shame you for your emotions. The wrong people will use your vulnerable moments against you. The wrong people will make you feel like you're too much. But the right people hold space for you while still holding you accountable. And if you have someone like that in your life, you are rich. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about soul wealth. Because there is nothing more valuable than someone who sees you clearly and still chooses to stand beside you. Now, the rest of the weekend continued like a beautiful rhythm. Driving and talking and laughing and sharing meals and listening to music. And somewhere in between the fun, I felt grateful. Grateful for the journey, grateful for my growth, grateful for the people who walk beside me while I'm becoming. Because awakening isn't a solo performance. Yes, the inner work is personal, but the journey is often supported by people who love you enough to see your potential, even on days you can't see it yourself. That concert we went to, it was amazing. New Edition, Tony Braxton, Boyz II Men were all amazing. The energy, the music, the dancing, everything. But honestly, the real gift of the weekend wasn't the concert. It was the reminder. The reminder that growth doesn't mean you never fall apart. It means you have people around you who remind you how to put yourself back together. And if you're watching this and you're on your own journey of awakening, I want you to know something. The ups and downs are a part of it. The moments when you feel powerful, the moments when you feel lost, the moments when you question yourself are all a part of becoming. So be gentle with yourself. Honor where you are. Celebrate small growth and cherish the people who hold space for your evolution. Because the truth is, awakening is hard, but it's also beautiful. And when you have the right people beside you, it becomes a journey of love. And for that, I am deeply grateful. Sometimes the most powerful weekends aren't the ones where everything goes perfectly. They're the ones where you are reminded you're not walking your journey alone. I love you, sissy. Bye for now.